Hello students, welcome to the Sapnas Homeschooling YouTube channel, and today we are going to write 8th standard science 15 lesson sound exercise. नवीन असाल चॅनल सबस्क्राईब करा, बेल आयकन दाबा. Fill in the blank with appropriate word. The region in a sound wave with higher pressure and density is called compression, and that with low pressure and density is called refraction. Medium is needed for generation of sound. C. The total number of compressions and refractions produced per second in a sound wave is 1000. The frequency of the sound wave is 500 Hz. D. Different sound notes have different frequencies. E. In a loudspeaker, mechanical energy is converted into sound energy. Question 2. Give scientific reasons. A. It is essential to change the tension in the vocal cords as we produce different sound notes from our larynx. Answer. Different sound notes correspond to different frequencies. The frequency of sound depends on the tension in the vocal cord. Hence, it is essential to change the tension in the vocal cords as we produce different sound notes are larynx. Question B. Astronauts on the moon cannot hear each other directly. Answer. Two astronauts on the moon talking to each other directly will be unable to listen to each other. Even if they are very close to each other, the moon does not have atmosphere. Since there is no medium which is necessary for generation and propagation of sound, between the astronauts, direct sound propagation between them is not possible. Therefore, the astronauts use some technology like the one used in our cell phones to communicate with each other. The waves used in cell phones do not need any medium for propagation. Question C. As the sound wave propagates from one place to the other in air, the air itself is not required to move from one place to the other. Answer. Propagation of sound through air occurs due to energy transfer by vibrating air molecules in one region to those in the adjacent region away from the source. The molecules simply vibrate about their mean position. Hence, the air itself is not required to move from one place to the other. Question 3. How are different sound notes generated in musical instrument like guitar, which use string for sound generation, and flute, which uses blown air for sound generation? Answer. Guitar. It is string-based flat backed instrument. It has usually 6 strings. The strings are plucked or strummed in with the fingers or a small piece of plastic wood, etc. It has a flat sounding board with a circular sound hole and in the center. Also, it has a fretted fingerboard. Its frequency range is more than 3 octaves. The frequency of vibration of the string is changed by changing the tension in the string or changing the vibrating length of the string. As the tension is increased, the frequency increases. As the vibrating length is increased, the frequency decreases. This is how different sound notes are generated. 2. Flute. It is a wind instrument where air is blown against the edge or rim of the blowing hole. The frequency of the sound produced depends upon the length of the vibrating air column in the tube. The greater the length of the vibrating air column, the less is the frequency of the sound produced. This is how different sound notes are produced. The flute has 6 or 7 or 8 holes to generate sounds of different frequencies. Different notes can be generated also by changing the way of air blowing. Question 4. How is sound produced in the human larynx and a loudspeaker? Answer. Sound production in the human larynx. In the human, sound is produced in the voice box called the larynx. It is located at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across it with a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. When the lungs force air through the slit, the cords start vibrating. The frequency of the sound produced depend upon the length and thickness of the cords and the tension in the cords. The frequency increases with the increase in the tension, and the more the length or the thickness of the cord, the less is the frequency. Muscles attached to the cords can make the cords tight or loose. You can see this figure, larynx in human. Second, sound production in loudspeaker. This is the internal construction of a loudspeaker. Figure shows the internal construction of a loudspeaker. Here a coil is wound around a permanent magnet. The conical screen of the loudspeaker is attached to the coil. When a current is passed through the coil, a magnetic field is produced. Its interaction with the permanent magnet result is back and forth motion of the coil. The frequency and the amplitude of the motion of the coil depends on the variation in the current through the coil. As the coil moves, the conical screen also moves back and forth. The vibration of the screen produces sound waves in air. Very loud sound can be produced by changing the current. Note, if you gently touch the vibrating screen, you can feel the vibrations. Question 5. Explain the experiment with a neat diagram to prove the following. Sound needs a material medium for propagation. You can see this image. Medium is necessary for propagation of sound. Bell jar, electric bell. Figure shows part of the setup used in the experiment. What is not shown in the electric circuit in which the electric bell is connected. A vacuum tight bell jar contain an electric bell connected to a power supply through the lid of the jar. The jar is placed on a smooth horizontal surface such as that of glass. Initially, the vacuum pump is off and the jar contains air. The circuit containing the bell is completed using the key of the switch so that the bell starts ringing. This can be heard outside the jar. Then the vacuum pump is switched on it so that it starts removing the air from the jar. We find that the level of ringing sound heard goes on decreasing. The quantity of air in the jar becomes less and less. When the pump is operated for a sufficiently long time interval and the quantity of air in the jar becomes so less that the level of ringing sound becomes very low. Sound is hardly audible, but we can see the striker in the bell hitting the gong. By extrapolation, we conclude that sound generated and propagation needs a medium. Question 6. Match the following. Human larynx, vibration in local cords, loudspeaker, vibration of screen, jal tarang, vibrations in air column, turning fork, vibration of metal arms, sitar, vibration in string. Now here is a project. Take two plastic glasses and tie a thread between them to make a toy phone. Does the voice of your friend reach you through the thread? Take a metal wire instead of the thread and also change the length of the thread wire and repeat the activity. Discuss with your friends and teacher about your conclusions. So here, thank you so much students for watching this video. मी तुमची खूप आभारी आहे हा व्हिडिओ पाहिल्याबद्दल. If you like this video, please like it, share to your friends and please subscribe this channel.